Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I'm Akriti, and before I start telling what this session is all about, I would like to introduce you to my teammates. You already know them, but then once again, we have Amini, Pavan, Atharv, Vishal, Aniket, Vishishtha, Sundaram, Aditi, and we have Nandu Bhaiya. Few of them could not join today, but then this is the Code Hub team. So as you can see on the screen, there's this title written, What After Engineering? Okay, so engineering in general is a very generic term, every random person, like if you ask them what degree are they pursuing, most of the answer you'd get to hear is engineering. But having said that, there are also so many career options which this degree, like after engineering you can pursue. There are so many career options which you can pursue, and you can go forward in that path. So today this meeting, like this session, is discussing those career options, those opportunities which you will get after the engineering degree. So this session is all about that. Next slide. Okay, so the three lines which you can see on the screen are from a poem by Robert Frost, which is The Road Not Taken. And The Road Not Taken is the title of our today's session. So before I actually start telling you about this, I would want anyone, like we have 51 participants here, I would want anyone to make, like give an explanation as to why we chose this term called The Road Not Taken. Any literature enthusiast, anyone who wants to answer, and just tell why did we choose this term. Like we would want to know your perspective of why we chose the term The Road Not Taken. Anyone can tell it in the chat.
Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. This is Priyanka. I would like to say something. I think you've taken this topic to tell for some things. People take ways which are already planned. There are some ways which are not taken. There are some paths which people don't travel much. Maybe you wanted to tell everyone about those paths which are not traveled much, but have something in the end. Could be interesting.
Yeah, that's really nice for putting it, Didi. Thank you so much. See, Priyanka Didi has actually answered it, so I don't have to tell anything now. But then I'll tell you these three lines which are written: two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So in general, while pursuing like engineering or any other degree, we choose to follow the crowd. Most of us, we believe in choosing to follow the crowd, and we do not see that we have various paths, and one follows the path which is commonly chosen by all. But then today's session, you'll get to know that there are so many, like there are several paths which we can choose from, and we can choose to make a difference from whatever decision we are taking. So for those who do not have clarity of what they should be taking in their future, we are going to provide you with various options, so you can just choose one of them. The next slide. Yeah. So now comes the real question, and the most important question. Are we hesitant to jump into the real world? Well, most of us are. Yes, that's going to be one, common answer. Yes. And for so many people, joining engineering is only getting a degree. Like I think for so many of them it is, but for so many, they have different, they want different outcomes after getting engineering. Some of them may want a job, some of them may go for higher studies. So we are going to be telling you various exams. We're going to be telling you about various companies, both technical jobs plus government jobs. We're going to be telling you everything in this session. So there are so many job opportunities which are available. We'll discuss about that. And I believe that if you're really passionate about anything, we can you can actually start doing that. So suppose like if you're interested in learning, you can go for higher studies in India. If you're interested for maybe wanting a change in the world, you can attempt the civil services examinations. And for people who are not interested in anything, you don't have to worry. Maybe you can create a robot who will do something for you. If you're not interested in anything, maybe you can do that. And in the due course of making a robot, maybe you learn something. So that is some form of learning. Now there's another question which pops up is, so what are we supposed to do? What is the motto of this? So for some people who have joined this session, you may be completely clueless of what we're supposed to do, For some of them, worried about the future. A lot of them are. You don't have to worry. We're all worried. But here we are going to provide you with career options which you can make. If you guys are in the first and the second years, and you by now, like through this session, if you get to know, or if you get to choose what you're going to do in the future, you can really start working hard from now on. And hard work is the key. You really have to work hard. Just knowing or just thinking that, okay, I want to be this, and not doing anything, just sitting at one place is not going to really help. So we're going to, like in this entire session, we'll talk about whatever we are suggesting you. We'll talk about the exam patterns. We'll talk about what the competition is going to be in the outside world. So basically getting you to the reality. And yes, you from this session, you'll get to know the different choices, and then you can choose one, and you can make a difference. So that was enough of motivation. I would like to start by telling you the agenda now. We'll just go on to the agenda. So we are going to be talking about it. We'll start with technical jobs. Okay, they'll be from the software side. We'll talk about product-based companies and service-based. We'll talk about Google, Apple, TCS, Infosys, and we'll talk about the exam patterns which these companies have, like they conduct exams. So what are the patterns they have? And then we'll also talk about some IT jobs for the non-IT people, some best IT jobs for them. And then we'll move on to government jobs. Like, who does not dream of becoming an IAS or an IPS? So we'll talk about UPSC. And then there are some government exams which you guys may not have heard of. Like some of you may have heard, and then for some of you it must be like a new thing. We'll talk about their paper pattern. We'll talk about how that is conducted. We have RRB, SSC, CGL, UGC NET. We'll talk about those, and then we'll also talk about the famous ones, which most of the guys actually go for. That is GRE, CAT, GMAT, and GATE. So we'll talk about all of these things. So I would request you guys to stay till the end, because you are going to get a clear picture. You may have heard these names and you may not know what they exactly are. So this session, by the end of this session, I'm guaranteeing you guys, you will be actually able to tell a lot about this. You may have a clear picture. You may have a thought that I want to do this, but you do not know what exactly it means. You will have after listening to this session. So all of you, please listen to this, and you can even, for those who are really interested and who are following this session religiously, you can actually make a note of what all we're going to talk here, because eventually it's going to help you. And yeah, enough of talking. I'll ask Vishal to start.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vishal. So I'll be discussing a few points on technical jobs that are in software sector. So first of all, let's start with different types of companies in this software sector. So there are product-based and service-based jobs in our software side. So basically, product-based companies have their own products to promote or sell. You can take examples like fan companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Yeah, these are product-based companies. They have their own products, like you can say YouTube and the Google search engine itself. And Microsoft has their own Surface notebooks lineup, and Google has a Pixel lineup. So all these are products of these companies. I'm coming to service-based companies. These don't have any specific products. Like the main agenda of these companies is to provide service to other organizations. Okay, basically provide workforce for the organizations like product-based companies. Okay, so if you don't already know, product-based companies provide more benefits and better salary. Let's take an example of TCS versus Google. Okay, according to 2018 statistics, we have around 4 lakh employees in Tata Consultancy Services, which is a service-based company, and the annual revenue produced by the TCS is around $19 billion. So if we calculate revenue per employee, it is around $47,000 per employee. And if we compute the same thing for Google, Google has around 1 lakh employees and the annual revenue is around $140 billion. So you can say at the numbers that Google produces 30% more revenue per employee than TCS. So they invest all this revenue within the welfare of the betterment of employees. So they have more benefits. Other than pay scale, there are many advantages like there are small teams within the company itself. That means less politics to deal with, and the policies are people friendly. Like they support employees and their families too. And obviously salaries and hikes will be more in product based companies. Mainly people focus on product-based companies only because of the job security, because job security in product-based companies is really high. So you can almost never lose the job. You will lose the job only like if the company collapses, like their products stop working, like if everyone suddenly stops using Google search engine or YouTube and all these, you may lose your job. But coming to service based, we cannot say anything about job security. Until the project is there, you are safe. But once the project is done, it could be 50-50 for you. Depending on your performance, they might mass fire. They are mass recruiters also, so they can mass fire people. So getting into product based companies and service based companies is not a difference between them. The only difference is the difficulty, obviously. So there are three ways to get into these companies. First one will be on campus, obviously. So some of these companies come to tier one colleges as well as tier two colleges, but mostly service based companies come to tier three colleges. So here it will be you are supposed to clear an aptitude round. That will be your first round. Aptitude is really important, and after the first round, you'll have a coding round. You'll have to answer a few simple questions like what will be output of this code, and a few OOPS concepts and all. After you clear this round, you will have a technical interview. So in technical interview, the interviewer will test your DSA knowledge, like what all you have learned from data structures and algorithms, all the advanced data structures, especially in product-based companies, all the advanced data structures and advanced algorithms are used. So you are required to know all those in product-based companies. In service-based companies, it is easier. So yeah, and there is one more thing, like there are contests and exams conducted by various product-based companies like Google and TCS, NQT, all these. Basically, all the companies have aptitude mandatory. So you have to clear all the three sections: logical, quantitative, and verbal. These are very important. And after that, you have a technical. Basically, you will be provided two questions and you have to answer those. And the third one would be referrals. Like you have to build your profile and you have to make it strong enough that a person working in a good company would refer you. So yeah, that is it. Next one. Yeah, service-based companies, like I've told you, service-based companies are easier to get into. The interviews are comparatively easier. Like there are TCS, NQT exams and Wipro NTH or NLTH, and yeah, these exams will have aptitude as mandatory, and after aptitude you will be have all the interview questions, almost all the DSA questions will be asked, and after this next will be interview round, and that's it for software sector.